a damn thing you're going to be able to do about it.
Really?
Really?
You're tied up with invisible chains, people, can't you see? Oh, what's it gonna take now, man, to set you free? I'm ready.
You know by now, if you've been watching, stop bitching, start a revolution. You are with the Department of Freedom. So kick back and check out the show. You know? Yeah, people now. You're with the Department of Freedom. Something to tell you. This ain't no democracy, you see. It's a constitutional republic. You see, you're with the Department of Freedom. Yeah. It's a libertarian party. Come on, people. Under the Department of Freedom, talking about the deal. Yeah, under the Department of Freedom, well, some of these federal agencies and these bureaucracies and some of these non-governmental organizations, you see, they gotta go. Care if it's the hell you know. Let me tell you something. You're with the Department of Freedom, and this ain't no democracy. Man, this is a libertarian party. No CIA. Ain't no how, ain't no way. No, 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 no. And how about that DA and that FBI and that CFR? And how about that United Nations? How about that UN and all those other ABC agencies like the ATF? I got something to say. Right there, people. Right there. Time to get it on. You gotta wake up, people, man. You gotta know. You gotta wake up, people. You gotta know. Hey, man, you gonna make it through the next half hour? Hey, man, you gonna make it through the show? Oh, man, I'm asking you now because you know what? God, I just want to know. You're with the Department of Freedom, people now. And this ain't no democracy. With the Department of Freedom, people. Now check out the show and wake up.
Stop bitching, have yourself a revolution.
Don't let free speech go up in smoke, man. The world's leading jailer, the United States of America.
I want to be a hippie god against those non-marijuana.
I'm as mad as hell! hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Go get out.
What's happening, beautiful people? Welcome once again to the program we love and enjoy calling Stop Bitchin', Start a Revolution. You're with the Department of Freedom, and I am Psilly Way-Out Willy. And you're with my brother of another mother, Mr. Buzzy Zipwhack. That's right, we're coming to you from Nutmeg Studios in Plainville, Connecticut. Institute for Higher Learning, people. That's right, because what you learn on this program and our sister program, Food for Thought, Wednesday nights here, 9 o'clock on Nutmeg TV, you ain't getting this from your NEA scripted education system. You ain't gonna get it there in your controlled media either, folks. You gotta get it right here with the DOF. Thanks for tuning into the program there, beautiful people. Right here we have for you the DOF garden. Check out how our garden grows there, people. You gotta love it. Woohoo! Yeah, what I got for you tonight, folks. I want to show you a few things here and there, and the first thing I got to show you is a clip from Vietnam. A bunch of gentlemen doing a shotgun. If you never had a shotgun, folks, you're gonna find out how to give one the real way. Here's the real deal, folks. Check it out here on Stop Bitchin', Start a Revolution.
This is something, man. This is our generation, man. All you people, we're all together, man. It's groovy. And dig yourself. It's really groovy.
This is Fire Support Base Aries, 50 miles northeast of Saigon. Vito is a 20-year-old draftee from Philadelphia. A photographer before he entered the Army, Vito is now a squad leader, responsible for the lives of a dozen men.
Well, it's a 12-gauge shotgun. What we basically use it for on the LZ and I guess even out in the field, so if you want to know, is that we use the shotgun from a ball. You know, you just put the ball in it. Paul, let me borrow that ball from you. This is probably all SIDS and we're getting busted, but I don't care.
Shotgun. What's happening here is also happening to some extent at virtually every other American installation in Vietnam. Recent surveys estimate that well over 50% of the soldiers in Vietnam use marijuana.
You get really stoned. Then, you know, who cares about the war? This war.
Hey, did you enjoy that, folks? I hope you did indeed. Yeah, real shotgun, the real deal. I bet that was a surprise to some of you out there. Whoa, don't be going into your closet and getting your shotguns out now. Whoa, if you know what I mean. Whoa, from Vietnam to Jamaica, we're going to go here with Bob. Good old Bob Marley has to say about the good old ganja. Peace to you people. Keep on checking out the program, and we'll catch you in a bit.
We use cannabis, you know. We use herb. Herb is the healing of the nation. Like how alcohol is the destruction of mankind. Herb is the healing of the nation, you know. The more you accept herbs, the more you accept Rastafari. You dig what I say? We who accept herb. Herb is important, but herb is more important to the people who don't accept it yet, because that is the reality. I mean, it's not so then something that you crave, but you check it in your sense and say, herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Why these people who want to do so much good for everyone, who call themselves governments and this and that, why them say you must not use the herb? You see? And we check that and we can't find, we just see them just say, no, you mustn't use it because it make you rebel. Against what?
Hey, 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 Rastafari, brothers and sisters, stop bitching, start a revolution. From Vietnam to Jamaica, people are enjoying the sweet ganja, Maryjane, cannabis, and oh, the sweet hemp, as Abraham Lincoln would say. That's right, beautiful people. Weed's a crime, still in America, home of the free and the land of the brave, or is it the land of the slave? You know what I'm saying. Ho, ho, ho. Schedule 1 drug, that's right. That's what it's categorized. Sweet Maryjane, no medicinal qualities, they say. Well, we know better, folks. It's time now, beautiful people, to see what our present GOP, that's the 2012 candidates, have to say about God's favorite plant on the planet, marijuana, cannabis, hemp. Check it out.
Herb is that thing that give you a little time for yourself so you can live, if you use it.
I personally would be opposed to legalization of marijuana, and I think that it is one of those passing fads that people don't think through the consequences.
I think the federal war on drugs is a total failure. The drug war is out of control. I fear the drug war because it undermines our civil liberties. It magnifies our problems on the borders. We spend, like, over the last 40 years, $1 trillion on this war.
Californians clearly want some level of legalized marijuana, be it for medicinal use or otherwise. The federal government is telling them they cannot, but states are not bound to enforce federal law, and the federal government cannot commandeer state resources and require them to enforce it.
I believe that marijuana should be illegal in our country. It is the pathway to drug usage by our society, which is a great scourge, which is one of the great causes of crime in our cities.
Given that in 2012 there are states that are looking to legalize marijuana, if you're just the Department of Justice would recognize states' rights, or if you would go after that?
Oh, I think that would be an activity that is not consistent with the law.
Thank you.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the word up on the 2012 candidates for the GOP presidency. Politricksters being politricksters there, folks, except good old Ron Paul, of course. That's right. And before that, of course, we had the real gangster of ganja, Mr. Bob Marley, setting the record straight. And, of course, we saw the gentleman in Vietnam. That's right, American soldiers smoking the real ganja, not like today, when the Pentagon is concerned. What? About what? It's men in uniform smoking fake pseudo weed so they don't get busted. That's right, folks. It's going on. It's all across the country. It's sick and pathetic. Well, what do we got next up for you, folks? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's the latest health fad in juicing. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a juicer. I love my carrots. I love my ginger and apple. Ooh, and how about that grapefruit? Well, let me tell you something. Here's the newest wave in juicing, and it's with cannabis. Cannabis health. That's right, folks. Check it out and stop bitching. Start a revolution.
My name is Dr. William Courtney. I'm involved in the raw use of cannabis as a dietary essential. In that capacity, you can use 60 times more than you can tolerate if heated, and in that capacity is a very potent anti-inflammatory that will find a very broad population of interest in this country.
I'm Donald Abrams, and I'm Chief of Hematology Oncology at San Francisco General Hospital and a Professor of Medicine at the University of California, San Francisco. I do research in medical cannabis applications. I mean, if cannabis were discovered in an Amazon rainforest today, people would be clamoring to make as much use of as they could of all of the potential benefits of the plant. I think, unfortunately, it carries with it, you know, a long, maybe not so long history of being a persecuted plant.
5 years ago, I wouldn't prescribe cannabis for a fellow I went to medical school with because I was such a skeptic. And now it's real clear to me that cannabis, it's a vegetable. It's not psychoactive until humans alter it chemically. No other animal alters it. So the whole psychoactive thing is a human aspect of the plant that has nothing to do with the 34 million years of evolution that the plant has. It's captured these molecules that help our body's regulatory system be more effective. And its bottom line is it's a dietary essential that helps all 210 cell types function more effectively. And so I never even refer to it as medicine anymore. Strictly as a dietary essential. It only becomes a medicine once you have a breakdown and a condition has become very serious and the system, your body is being overwhelmed. Then cannabis can be manipulated, i.e. heated, concentrated, to become a medicine. But in its best form, it's a preventative. And preventing diabetes is a lot better than trying to treat it. Preventing cancer is a lot better than trying to treat it.
I think cannabis is a medicine that is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and probably has some direct activity against cancer cells. So,
the federal patent is phenomenal. The Department of Health and Human Services since 2003 has had intellectual property on CBD, and CBD is, is a molecule that's coming out of the shadows from THC. It doesn't produce that psychoactive. The majority of my patients don't want to get high at 8 o'clock in the morning and be high all day long. But a lot of them do have arthritis, car accidents, autoimmune disorders, rheumatoid, and they start out their day in pain, and they're in pain most of the day long. And so they're looking for relief but clarity, and that's what these eating the plant raw. I mean, that's, you not only need CBD. CBD is a non-psychoactive, whether it's CBD acid, which is how it's found in the raw plant, or CBD, which is what happens after you cook it or heat it or steep it or turn it into tea or something. But THC acid is the real tricky molecule in the raw plant, totally non-psychoactive, phenomenally beneficial as a molecule. Once it's heated, it turns into THC, and then the tolerable dose drops from hundreds of milligrams a day to 10. And with 10 milligrams, you stimulate the CB1 receptor, you get that psychoactive effect, either dysphoria or euphoria, but you walk away from 99% of the benefits of this plant, which are bone remodeling, intestinal function, neural function, inflammation control, cancer, precancerous detection. This plant can do phenomenal things, but not if you're taking 10 milligrams rather than the 600 milligrams that the FDA is currently approving as an investigative new drug.
My name is Kristen Piskuski, and I went from being bedridden and on over 40 medications a day to control my health problems to being a mother, to being healthy, happy, and vital, thanks to using green leaf that I juice on a daily basis. Yeah, I was diagnosed with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis when I was 16, and then interstitial cystitis, painful bladder condition, endometriosis, cervical cancer. I was told I was sterile and would never have children, and hypothyroidism, chronic infections. I've had 16 surgical procedures, and I'm resistant to most antibiotics and have chronic infections, and I can't take a lot of Western medicine drugs because of the allergies that I have. I also have asthma. I'm allergic to most environmental factors and different skin rashes, and I have a broken back in 3 places.
Man. So how did you discover this new way of juicing?
I discovered cannabis was helpful for the conditions because when I would smoke cannabis for pain, I had fewer infections. So I started to look into whether cannabis was doing more than just masking the pain. And I moved to California to be able to use cannabis legally, but I still didn't have the type of healing that I anticipated with smoked and heated cannabis. So after talking to several cannabis physicians and attending different lectures, I found out that there's the THC acid and CBD acid that you get in the raw form have medicinal properties that are better at helping my immune system to communicate. So as soon as I began doing that, it took about 6 weeks, and I was infection-free, and all of my conditions went into remission.
And what many of my patients do is they plant a plant every day and they pick a plant every day. If you let the plant grow to a certain size, you may be able to use half a plant a day, so a plant therefore would last for 2 days, so therefore you need one plant every other day. So the total number of plants depends on whether you have a plant a day, a plant every other, or a plant every 3 days, depending on the space available. But most of them are trying to do this whole thing on a single 400-watt light. And they use a fluorescent light to keep a mother alive, and they produce a clone. They start a plant. They pick the whole plant, strip the leaf and flower, juice that. Good indication that the roots are also useful. Stalk is a little fibrous, can bind up a lot of juicers and ruin the juicer because it's just so strong. So I generally strip the stalk and throw that away because it's just too fibrous. But juice that, it produces a small amount of juice, very concentrated, quite acidic. Yeah, that has to be diluted. You can dilute it with fresh vegetable juice, fruit juice, or something that you buy off the shelf.
The only time I've needed antibiotics in the last 4 years is when I was unable to do the juicing regime because I was overseas. And it was while I was pregnant for the first time with my daughter Zahaya. And when I came back, I had a horrible sinus infection, and they were unable to treat it with 3 different antibiotics. And the rheumatologist at UCSF I was working with thought that I may need to go back on methotrexate and prednisone. And 3 weeks after I got home and I had been juicing again, everything cleared up, and I didn't have to go on any of the drugs or take another antibiotic.
And at this point, I'm developing strains. Yesterday, stumbled on a strain that's 22% CBD acid. The plant that I had the day before that was 1%. A absolutely phenomenal change in the plant's chemical composition, and particularly as it impacts, are you violating federal patents if you're using this plant? I mean, if they're commercially going to use CBD, then you have to deal with the patent. But individual use as a dietary element, the U.S. patent just is clear evidence as to why you want to eat this plant as a leafy green vegetable and include it in your diet several times a day.
I depend on right now on people who give me leaf because my partner is a cannabis physician, and we worry about the legalities of growing our own right now and whether it could jeopardize his medical license. But we have a lot of patients that are able to grow less than 30 plants, and this allows them a fresh plant every day for juicing.
My number one project is to get the Convention 1 treaty, which is a UN committee that produced this treaty that I think there's 104 countries that have signed on to it, which says if you have, grow, possess, transport cannabis, you should be imprisoned. That is the document that every country in this world pounds people into the ground, cuts their heads off, and imprisons them. And so you take this information that unheated, it's not psychoactive, it's a vegetable that improves the function of your immune system and bone metabolism and musculoskeletal. Once the world knows that it's a vegetable, that's all it is. Most important vegetable on the planet. Then these various things that are in place that prohibit people from having access will change. And so one of my agendas now is to try to get the treaty amended to remove cannabis so that cannabis can be available to everyone in the world as a dietary supplement.
And anyone who knows somebody who's sick, who has a loved one with an illness or themselves has suffered from one, understands that there are more important things to look at, and we have to be able to adapt. If what we're doing doesn't fit with what's needed in the world today, if how we make our living isn't supporting, it's not sustaining people's health, then we need to be able to grow and adapt and change.
You don't want to go from, I guess a lot of incarcerations to suddenly, it's a dietary essential. I mean, how do you make that leap? And so I'm hoping that we're in a phase where, we're gradually letting go of yesterday's nightmares and embracing the fact that it's patented for its benefits, it's approved of by the FDA, and in fact is clearly a dietary essential that should be in everyone's diets. And so I'm hoping that the DEA, which is lagging behind, will on cue with the whole organization, decide that, okay, well, let's go ahead and reschedule this because clearly we can't have a patent on its utility and say it has no utility. I mean, the conflict is just, it's patently absurd.
Whoa, shamalama ding dong, marijuana cannabis. It's no more longer just for smoking token and making your brownies. That's right. It's the most important vegetable dietary supplement there is, according to doctors, and I think God would say the same, but hey, I'm not going to speak for him. Marijuana, that's right, a dietary essential, folks, that helps all 210 cell types function more effectively. Not according to the federal government, folks. Oh, shenanigans. I call shenanigans. It's anti-inflammatory. That's right. Cannabis is antioxidant and has anti-cancer properties. What can I say, folks? Let's put a wrap on the show. We're going to wind it up with my friend Jason Burgoyce's tune here. All right, check it out. The New Revolution. Till next week, people. Stop bitching, start a revolution. Peace to you all and treat each other well.
Mandates have no place in a free society. They take away our God-given rights. Candidates we elect, they soon betray us. Is it getting to the point we need to fight the new revolution? I know what they want us to be, but I don't think we ever can. We're not your cosmic zombies. We're red-blooded Americans. Look into his story, maybe you'll begin to see. They passed laws against the Constitution, expecting us to just stand by. It feels like social prostitution. It's gonna make our children cry when they find out, not so far down the road, that their freedoms have been so cheaply undersold. Feels like we're living under Nazis. Still we have to stand up and be brave. I don't care if they come and kill me. For all these things I must say, freedom of speech is ours, and it's here to stay. If you don't like it, man, why don't you just go away, go away. To be a grand solution, I think I might know what it is. We don't need their persecution, and I think you'll all agree with this. Take all the socialists in Congress, put them on a boat and sink it quick. That's exactly what they're doing to us, and in fact it's making me quite sick. Let me remind you, you're free and always will be. One nation under God, to live out your liberty and be free. New revolution, join the revolution, you're the solution. Come on, join the new revolution. Yeah, join the revolution, you're the solution. Join the revolution, the new revolution.